So my name is Michael Leit. I'm the president of the Luxembourg board of Pro Silva. So I came to Pro Silva, so I'm very addicted to close to nature forest, and I think in times like this, where the forest sector is really in a crisis and we have to look for solutions, the close to nature approach is one of the best for the future, and for the economic part of the forest, for the ecologic part of the forest, and also for the social part of the forest.
Hello, I'm René Oldhoff. I'm the chairman of the Dutch Pro Silva. Well, I started in the forestry a long time ago and was confronted with clear cuttings, and it was really hurting because a very nice forest was taken down, and I asked the forester there, could it be done differently? No, there's only this method, he said. Later on, of course, you see that there are other methods, and methods who work together, nature, economics, and saving your soil. And that's what we need in forestry, I guess. So, well, in Holland we have a forestry tradition with clear cutting, and we stopped clear cutting in the 80s. But because we don't know how to manage, they started clear cuttings again, and that's a pity, of course. So we have to provide answers to go further with our forest, and I think we find answers in our Pro Silva approach. So I think we can change our forests into interesting forests, which are also economically very interesting, so sustainable forests.
My name is Igor Anic. I'm full professor of silviculture at Faculty of Forestry at University of Zagreb. I started to teach silviculture at 2005, but I was a young assistant at the faculty since 1992, and from that time I started to learn about close to nature forestry, because close to nature forestry is a traditional way of forest management in my country. So I started to learn about that as a student, and after that to teach about that as assistant, and today as a full professor. That is the basic forest management principle in my country, and I think that that forest principle can help us to win against climate changes. That could be the main point of preserving natural structure and to preserve the forest against natural disasters. Yeah.
My name is Ruzo Bruchanik. I came from Slovakia. I am silviculturist in State Forest of the Slovak Republic, and I am involved in this Pro Silva movement already for more than 20 years. In my country, in State Forest, around 10% of the forest is managed in the close to nature way, and now we are expecting to bring a new definition about close to nature forestry in our forest law, and I think with this will be interest to make close to nature forestry increased as well in states, but is private owners as well.
I am the administrator, Greek administrator, member of Pro Silva Europe. I am president at the same time in my country in Hellenic Forestry Association. I complied to Pro Silva Europe since 5 years, and I attend all annual meetings at all other works. And I'm proud, let's say, why. I am silviculturist, ecologist, and I think it is very close to the principles who provide, who support Pro Silva Europe. My expectations are high, let's say. The route following the principles of Pro Silva, I think, are promising for the Greek forestry. Of course, we face different kind of problems, threats, etc., in our Mediterranean forestry, and furthermore, the new knowledge is coming from Pro Silva Europe, from this new platform. So therefore, I think we have to learn much more from the new trends about forestry, not based on wood products, but from the services too. And the close to nature forestry, I think, provide similar thoughts.
I'm John Carvalho. I came to Pro Silva many years ago on a European project, and close to nature silviculture is important for Portugal as a sustainable silviculture, providing profitability from the forest and at the same time ecological benefits from ecosystem services. Yes, of course. When we work together in networking, we can get interesting results and advances on this subject.
My name is Peter Csépányi. I came from Hungary. I was graduated in 1989 at Sopron University, and that time I'm always was looking for a solution, I mean silvicultural way how to manage better the forest. I found that the traditional way of forestry had so much problems, and I always loving forests, so I couldn't imagine my life without forest. And my life is I dedicated to change the silviculture in forest in Hungary. I like to have much more continuous cover forest in my country because I consider the best solution to solve the problem, the debate between nature conservancy and forest management, and also I think for the people, for the society, from the aspect of ecological and ecosystem services, is the best way what we do in the forestry to introduce continuous cover forestry and Pro Silva principles.
My name is Dorota Dobrowolska. I am a professor of forestry. I work in the Forest Research Institute in the Department of Ecology. And for the first time, I was invited by Tomasz Wyrszka, who was the member of Pro Silva, to give a talk about forestry, problems of forestry in Poland. So it was my first view of Pro Silva activity. And last year I was in Chile, and I was invited by the president of Pro Silva to join the group. And close to nature forestry is very familiar for me because I try to promote natural regeneration in Poland, because the degree of regeneration in natural regeneration in Poland is very low. However, it increases, but it's still, in my point of view, not acceptable. So natural regeneration is part of close to nature forestry. So I like this idea, and what is important for me and what I want to achieve from the Pro Silva, just to meet other people from different countries, to know more about their forestry and try to implement the ideas into the forestry in Poland.